Okay, good morning.
Good
Halos
morning po.
halos nandito naman lahat na. Okay, sige. So, nabanggit ko last meeting about the groupings, ano? So, we have nakapag-grouping na ba kayo for your ano, not more than 5?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So i-send na lang sa akin ng rep yung grouping ano, para malaman ko yung mga grouping. Okay, sige. So, in the meantime, I'm sure medyo mahihirapan pa kayong maggawa ng mga topics because we barely started. You need some background din, no? So, kailangan din magbasa-basa tayo, mag-research, if possible, dun sa library kung meron tayong titingnan, and then the references that I referred to you, as well as kailangan din natin reviewin yung mga natutunan natin sa petrophysics, sa reservoir engineering, because this will play an important part dito sa production engineering. As I have mentioned last time, yung production engineering nakadepende sa reservoir, kung anong klase ng reservoir drive, kung anong klase ng oil or ng fluids mo. So, nakadepende lahat doon sa processes mo will be geared towards, halimbawa, meron kang black oil or gas condensate, yung binigay kong example last time. So, we will continue today yung production process pa rin, no? Isa-isahin lang natin yung mga component ng mga production facility, yung mga pinanggagalingan, and then so that we could, medyo hihimayin na natin ngayon because last time it was too general, 'di ba? So, mahalaga din na ating reviewin o yung mga napag-aralan natin sa mga phase behavior, like yung tinatawag nating compressibility factor. Natatandaan niyo po ba 'yan? Na the compressibility factor na ano, nare-recall pa o hindi na? Mukhang hindi na, no? Sana pagkatapos ng mga subject natin, wag nating kakalimutan, no? Kasi magagamit natin 'yun pagka ah, nag-aano na tayo. Sino yung nakakaalala dito sa Z is equal to PV is equal to nRT. Sinong nakakaalala pa dito sa equation na to? Ito. Yan. C is equal to VB nRT. Meron ba nakakaalala pa? Yung compressibility factor. Okay, sige, Tristan, Kim Briones. And then, maybe supply din ng iba.
Sir, yung
Nag-i-echo yung sound mo. Maybe naka-open yung cellphone mo and at the same time yung PC. Patayin mo muna yung isa.
sir, yung Yung compressibility factor po na Z is equals to PC and RT po yung kinukuha po sa table po ng TC.
Mm.
TC ano po? Yung tawag sa table. Yung TC tsaka PC po. Tapos pag-a-add din po. Tapos makukuha na po yung compressibility factor po siya.
Okay. So, at least alam nyo yung pagkuha ng compressibility factor using the standing catch graph, no? Ipa-plot lang natin yung ano. Paano kung may mga impurities doon na kasama doon sa mixture? Agad-agad ba natin kukunin yung compressibility factor o kukunin muna natin yung correction? Naalala nyo ba yon sa inyong petrophysics at saka yung sa reservoir? So, pag may mga impurities, kinukuha muna natin yung correction, yung E, no, bago natin computein yung compressibility factor. Hindi automatic na makukuha natin kaagad yung compressibility factor if we don't compute for the correction. Okay ba? So, medyo nare-recall nyo na. So, ano-ano ang mga parameters doon sa compressibility factor na yan? Ano ang kailangan mong malaman? What do you need to know? Do you need the volume? Siyempre, no? We need volume. We need absolute pressure. Yung moles, kailangan natin. Kailangan din natin, di ba? Yung N. How about the mass? Magagamit ba natin yon? Magagamit. And ano pa? Temperature. What else do we need para ma-work out natin yung compressibility factor? Yes? Okay. Nakasagal na. Okay, yes, Kim.
Sure, yung constant po na R.
What is that R? What does it represent? Ano ba yung R? And alam niyo yung value. What is the value of R? Okay, the value of R is kung we're going to use this unit, it's 10.73 PSI per cubic foot. So, alam natin yung pressure, alam natin yung volume, natin yung moles. Ang moles doon kasi is the N. Alam din natin yung pwede rin yung expression in terms of MP MRT. Z C Ay, sorry. Nawala yung internet ko. Okay, yung compressibility factor na yon can also be expressed as MPB divided by MRT. Bale, yung M is the molecular mass, P is the absolute pressure, tsaka yung volume natin divided by M, which is the mass times R and T. So, pwede rin natin kunin yon. But there are other ways aside from taking the Z factor dun sa standing catch table. We can also compute them directly. Meron bang nakakaalala kung paano kinocompute yung compressibility factor? Anyway, this is just a review, ha? Hindi naman ito just ang ginagawa lang natin is we are just reviewing some of the concepts na take up nyo sa reservoir engineering so that eventually we can apply them dito sa production end. So this is just a run through ng mga iba't ibang topics. Kung hindi natin masyadong ma-recall, kailangan repasuhin natin yung mga yon because hindi natin maiintindihan yung sa mga production and later on na topics if we do not review itong mga concepts na ito sa hydrocarbon phase behavior. Malinaw yun?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so and also once you know the compressibility factor, kailangan nyo pa rin mag-refer sa table ng mga critical temperature tsaka critical pressure. Correct? Tama, di ba? And then, there is an expression which relates all the critical pressure as well as the critical temperature from the table so that you will get the reduced temperature tsaka reduced pressure. Ano yung expression na yon that will express the values taken from the table na critical temperature tsaka critical pressure para maging reduce pressure tsaka reduce temperature. Ano yun? Review. Yes, Leo Chavez?
I-divide po dun sa given na pressure and temperature po.
Correct. Kung may given na pressure tsaka may given na temperature, we will divide the critical pressure tsaka critical temperature para makuha natin yung reduced pressure. So, once na nakuha na natin yung reduced pressure, ano nang gagawin natin? Yes, Kim? Leo, si Adrian naman, Adrian.
Hanapin natin po yung nakuha nating value sa table po. Then ipa-plot po.
Okay. So, pwede nang i-plot. Except kung may impurities tayo, hindi pa tayo magpa-plot agad-agad. Correct? Kasi kukunin pa natin yung correction. And then, once na makaano tayo ng correction, hello po. So, pag may correction tayo, i-correct muna natin, kukunin natin yung epsilon through another table or meron ding way to compute for the correction ng mga H2S, mga correction ng CO2. And then, saka pa lang natin kukunin yung P prime. Tama? But there is also a so-called na pag-compute ng mga compressibility factor without having to go through yung mga tinatawag nating standing catch table. And that is called Hall-Yarborough equation. Medyo mahaba-haba lang yung equation na yon, but I think it can be made available to you in the next succeeding days. What we'll do is meron tayong mga data, and then I can provide you the parang handouts with some equations para ma-practice tayo sa pagsosolve nung lalo na itong, at least for as an initial computation, ito yung mga compressibility factor. So anong significance ng compressibility factor? Bakit natin kinukuha yung compressibility factor? Any idea? Para? Okay, so para, di ba, para malaman natin kung saang phase siya. Because we are studying phase behavior, so we are trying to understand kung anong property niya with regards to the other mixtures or phase mixtures. So, i-review natin yon, ano? I-review natin yon. And then, there are also other equations that you can use so that na magagamit nyo in a way for some computations. There are so many correlations na tinatawag or equations na pwedeng gamitin natin. And one of them is the Schwab and Peng-Robinson. Are you familiar with this one? Have you encountered this? O nakalimutan lang? So, sige. Ang ginagawa ko lang is parang because mahaba din yung equation na yun, but they are also important when we study it from the compressibility factor, and then we compute for those equations. So, ano-ano namang nag-govern if you have a multi-component systems o ibang phase behavior. Kasi, diba, usually the fluid is a single component fluid. Pero, paano naman kung multi-component mixture? So, meron ka pa ring Gabriel? So, pag meron tayong single, ang susunod na kailangan intindihin phase diagram. Ano ang importance ng phase diagram sa atin? What is the importance ng phase diagram? To understand the mixture itself in terms of PBT, di ba? Yun ang inaaral natin, because for every change in, let's say, sa pressure, there would be a corresponding change in or change in volume, and then there will be a change in pressure. So, ang pressure natin is the volume could change, and yet depende sa klase ng mga mixture, there are fluids that will have that will be effect even if there is a change in the volume and equal to zero. So, kaya inaaral natin yung mga phase behavior para malaman natin yung reaction ng iba't ibang mga condition. And the temperature for reservoir, lalo na dito sa atin, yung reservoir fluids, so that we will fully understand yung hydrocarbon phases natin. We review yung mga classification ng hydrocarbon fluids. Ano-ano ang classification ng hydrocarbon fluids? Can you name some? Sorry, nawala na naman. I was asking kanina, ano-ano yung mga classification ng mga hydrocarbon fluid natin according to phase behavior? Sorry, napuputol-putol ako na hindi masyadong ang signal, stable ang signal. So kanina tinatanong ko kung ano-ano yung mga classification ng mga hydrocarbon fluid according to behavior. Example is dry gas. Ano ang characteristic ng dry gas? If you can recall. So, meron tayong dry gas. Ano pa? Wet gas. Yes, Julia.
Good morning po, sir. Try lang po. Yung dry gas, wet gas, and condensate po. Ang dry gas po is yung no hydrocarbon liquids ang separate from gas. And yung wet gas naman po, yung hydrocarbon liquids na nasa-separate po sa gas.
And ano naman yung gas condensate?
Yung sa gas condensate po, yun po yung liquid na napoproduce.
Okay. So, black oil. Kasi apat yun, di ba? May black oil. Ang pagkakaiba nila, nagkakatalo sila, lalo na dun sa bubble point. Ano ang significance ng bubble point sa hydrocarbon phase? The so-called bubble point. Do you remember? Bubble point and dew point. Medyo nakakalimutan natin. Hello? How about the others? Bakit lang ang nagre-recite sa klase? Yung iba. Kasi review na lang to, dapat alam nyo na ito, hindi ba? Sa asking bago na wala ng internet, ano yung ibig sabihin ng bubble point? Yes, Aliyah.
Sir, try lang po. Ang sa nare-recall ko po, ang bubble point po, yun po yung parang point po kung saan yung liquid mixture ay nagve-vaporize po, whereas yung dew point po ay yung gaseous mixture po na nagbibigin to condensate po.
Baliktad naman, ano? Okay, sige.
Ay, sorry po.
Baliktad, ano? So, ulitin natin para hindi ma-confuse din yung iba. Ang bubble point is what? The point at which the first drop ng liquid mixture nagsisimulang mag-vaporize. While the drop of a gaseous mixture begins to condense. Tama? So, huwag kakalimutan yon kasi pag classify na natin yung wet gas, dry gas, gas condensate, importante yung titandaan nyo lang yung mga bubble point na yon. Kasi, for example, sa gas condensate, yung bubble point niya, habang tumataas yung temperature, mataas din yung pressure, pero once na ma-exceed niya yung point na yon, medyo pumupunta na siya doon sa gaseous state. So, yun ang ano ng gas condensate. However, sa wet gas naman, most likely, habang tumataas yung temperature at a certain pressure, pero once na mag-exceed siya doon and then mag-fall siya doon sa pinaka-line ng yung process na yon, it will eventually be in that horizon na nasa gas na siya. As opposed naman sa dry gas, yung isothermal line niya medyo malayo pa. Kung ano yung pressure tsaka temperature ng reservoir, medyo yung pressure niya is mababa lang siya doon sa given temperature. Pero pag black oil naman, ang black oil kasi is nasa liquid phase siya. So yung point ng nung yung what you can do is i-recall nyo lahat ng phase pressure temperature diagram for each specific hydrocarbon o fluid. Ano yung sa dry gas, ano yung sa wet gas, ano yung sa gas condensate, ano yung black oil. So that's one. So para ma-review natin yung mga hydrocarbon mixture na yon. And then kasunod nito, yun yung mga conditions, mga reservoir conditions na yung well, if the well flowing pressure is greater than the bubbling pressure. So, one phase lang yon. Pero bukod sa one phase, meron din tayong mga two phase. So, meron din phase flow but two phase flow. Karamihan kasi ng hydrocarbons there network. Nakakaano yung internet sorry, pawala-wala. So I have to wait quite mga some time bago siya mag-restore. So I was saying dito sa production engineering natin, we'll be dealing with not just one phase flow but two phase flow. So mahalaga i-review natin yung ating mga classification ng mga hydrocarbon fluid. Review natin yung mga pressure, temperature diagrams, which one is applicable kung meron tayong black oil, meron tayong gas condensate, meron tayong wet gas, or meron tayong dry gas. Okay? So, yung importante din dito yung mga reservoir conditions. Pag sinabing two-phase flow, yun ang kalimitan na that usually occur sa wellbore. So, when we talk of production at saka reservoir, we always consider two separate na process. One is yung flash liberation o vaporization at saka yung isa, yung differential liberation. So, next meeting, ma-distinguish nyo sana what is flash liberation at saka yung differential liberation at tinatawag na yon. That is a very important concept tungkol sa production processes. So, in general, pag sinabing plus vaporization, ito yung phase-changing process due to change in pressure and temperature. So, kung nagbabago yung mass ng reservoir fluid o kaya yung composition or the total composition system remains constant, so meron tayong ina-apply din na equation doon, which is in terms of mole fraction times the number of moles ng sample is equal to XL plus Y sigma. Ang X natin would be the mole fraction ng component liquid. Yung L is the number of moles if the liquid is in equilibrium. Kung yung Y mole fraction in gas mixture, tsaka yung is equal to the number of equilibrium space. So later on I will give you this mga expressions na to so that you could practice and you can apply them later on. So ang tanong ngayon, ano ang process na nag-o-occur sa reservoir conditions? So, maraming mga nagsasabi that ang reservoir process is a combination ng differential, leverage, at flash. So, ano-ano ang condition sa reservoir na nangyayari yung differential kumpara doon sa process. Ang plus process kasi, they are the conditions in which yung mass of the considered system does not vary with changes in pressure and temperature. So, ang plus process sa two-phase region, vaporization and condensation, can be defined in terms of total system composition. So, that's for your assignment. You should be able to distinguish yung flash process tsaka plus vaporization or differential process. So, medyo i-ano natin, i-research natin part of your studies, also doing some just because you're already third year fourth year na kayo. Hindi na lahat nai-spoon feed sa inyo ng teacher. So, ang halaga ngayon is I can give you some pointers or guide and then you research further and basahin sa mga existing production. So, ang tanong, naka-access ba kayo dun sa binigay ko na drive or were you able to download?
Yes po, sir. Na-access naman po.
Okay. Kasi hindi ko naman yun ni-restrict. Basta may link kayo maka-access. So, I suggest i-download nyo na agad. Kasi baka mamaya mawala dun sa drive. So, para may mabasa kayo. I don't know. I have not checked kung merong additional books na nasa library in terms of with regards to production engineering, lalo na sa petroleum, no? So, maganda. You can also visit the library and in check aside from the references that I am giving you. Yung mga references kasi na yun, importante. And some of them are also handouts which it's difficult to access or get. Some of them, unless na nagsusubscribe kayo kasi sa ResearchGate, sa kanyo lang makukuha yun. So, basically, yun yung mga dapat natin munang so as not to isa-isahin nyo lang muna ulit yung mga topics ko na binanggit so that you will have a full understanding before we proceed to the production side. So these are basic concepts sa reservoir petrophysics tsaka reservoir engineering. So ulitin ko, fluids, classification ng hydrocarbon fluid, ano pa? yung nabanggit kong process na flush and plus vaporization, tsaka yung flush liberation, and then flush liberation, tsaka differential liberation, and then try to review computing the compressibility factor with impurities, which I have taken up, I'm sure, doon sa petrophysics natin. So, remember, binigay ko siya sa exam before. So, yun, mahalaga yun. So, but what you can do is try to check them using direct computation, yung nabanggit kong equation ni Schwab and Yarborough equation. So, yung mga yun, very important yun. So sa mga facilities naman, yung ating facilities na kinover is yung very basic lang natin, hindi ba? Hindi pa ako nagbanggit ng masyadong maraming iba't ibang mga and also when you review your hydrocarbon phase, natatandaan nyo sa petrophysics, I gave you petrophysical analysis. In addition to that, go through yung mga crude oil analysis. How do we test the crude oil at saka crude oil, tapos paano natin tinitest, and then ano-anong dapat nating malaman na factor. Importante ba yung tubig, yung sediments, or paano din natin tinetest yung mga LPG. Tapos na ba kayo ng well test? Hindi pa?
Hindi pa
Hindi
po.
pa po.
Next pa, no? So, okay. So, yung basic lang na petroleum analysis method. So, kasi pag hindi natin to na alam ng konti, it will be difficult for us to interpret yung mga data. Kasi hindi natin alam kung saan yun nanggaling. So, that's one thing I would also recommend you. And siguro sa susunod, what I can do sa face-to-face is give you some handouts kung okay lang sa inyo. So, meron siyang handouts, and then I can print and then put there some equations, and then may example na data. And every time na mag-face-to-face tayo, ganun yung gagawin natin. So, iksian ko lang kung maaari, and then so that you can write yung if there is a need for you to solve, dun yun na ilagay mismo sa solution na yun para ma-practice din kayo. But nevertheless, pwede kayong mag-try. May mga example din kasi sa books on how to compute. Pero ita-try natin yun during the face-to-face para ma-practice kayo. Okay ba yun? So, ipiprepare ko yung handouts instead of, kasi ang hirap yung sa manual because mas maganda na to na specific na lang per topic. And then I will just have it reproduce, and then I'll distribute it, tapos may problems. So, ang gagawin ko is I will try to prepare yung topic at hand na merong sample problem na parang sinolve, and then I will give another problem na pwedeng practicean natin. It could be the same problem or maybe a different problem, pero at least something related to each other yung topic na yun. Okay? So, medyo maraming kailangang aralin, ano? Lalo na kung dito kayo magfo-focus sa inyong mga career. I would suggest na kung dito kayo pupunta, better na medyo aralin nyo tong topic na to kung gusto nyong pumunta sa ganitong field. I'm not saying na yung mga iba na hindi pupunta sa ganitong field, hindi na aralin. Pero what I'm saying is kung talagang ito ang gusto nyong linyahin, better na medyo aralin nyo na ngayon pa, even as a student. Because you are preparing yourself as in the future na ito ang maging career nyo. So, sa production o process, etc. Kasi hindi ito sa upstream, no? Kung upstream ang gusto nyo, you should study more on the logging, yung mga drilling, yung mga exploration, geophysics, geomechanics. Pero if you want to go sa downstream, ito na, this will give you an opportunity to do that. So, aside from the vapor point, alamin din natin yung mga iba't ibang concepts like pour point, dew point, ano pa, cloud point. So, marami yan, ano? So, baka sabihin nyo naman, the sir, mention lang ng mention, tapos hindi naman ine-explain. Pero, sige lang, for the initial meetings natin kasi, we are just trying to parang recall ko lang muna. So, saka na natin himayin yung mga iba't iba, especially if we have problem doon na nakapaloob doon sa handouts that I'm going to give you. So, among the petroleum products then, we have a lot of petroleum products. So, ang uunahin lang muna natin is oil and then gas. So, yun lang muna. Medyo magpo-focus tayo dun sa dalawang yun. Because once we go in sa mga ibang product, medyo iba na naman yung mga composition nun, iba na naman yung process doon, like asphalt, iba-iba naman yun. Even if we go, like say, and yung panghuli natin, which I am including sana is nasa reservoir engineering, yung mga unconventional. Last semester or last year, it was taken up here, yung mga unconventional resources like shale, tight gas, sand, at saka mga coal bed methane. Pero parang masyado ng marami ang magiging saklaw noong ating ProdEng. Kaya I decided not to include them anymore. Instead, put them sa reservoir engineering. Para dito, focus lang tayo sa production para hindi siya mag-overlap doon sa reservoir. Okay, so ano pa? Ang pinaka-significant din sa production eng is the crude oil. Lately, we try to get some crude oil from companies like Petron. Gagamitin sana namin sa thesis. And then what we'll do is ipa-analyze sila. But then we could not have a crude oil. So, nevertheless, dito sa production, study yung properties ng crude oil. So, ano-ano yung property ng crude oil bago siya i-process. Dapat alam natin yung characteristics ng crude oil. So, next meeting ng magiging natin aside from focusing kasi mga system, as I have mentioned, need to understand yung ating mga raw materials muna. Paano kung ang raw mat natin merong gas o merong separator tayong gagamitin, hindi ba? Pero partly dito sa Philippines, wala tayong mga gas oil separator. Kasi ang ini-import natin is crude oil na. So, before we take up yung mga production ng refinery operations, kanyan, and how do they mix yung mga additives and all that. Alamin muna natin kung ano nga ba yung crude oil. Ano ang kaibahan ng crude oil sa bunker oil, for example. So, and then ipoprocess siya, and then paano yun nako-convert into, say, with a mixture ng mga biodiesel. So, nilalagyan kasi yun ng mga additive na ganun. So, any questions with regards to our general topic discussion? Medyo general pa ito, di ba? Yes, Gabriel?
Sir, hindi naman po siya sa topic po mismo, pero clarify ko lang po since marami po ang nalilito.
Oo.
Yun pong parang ano po, inassign nyo po sa amin to review ay wala namang pong output na need. Parang self-review
Wala.
po. Okay po. Thank
Kasi
you po.
those are topics na nakuha nyo na sa petrophysics and sa reservoir engineering. So, wala siyang assessment na kailangan. Para lang next time when pag tinuro ko o ni-review ko, mas may interaction tayo. Mas na susundan nyo ulit. So, as I've mentioned, mahalaga lang siya na aralin natin ulit so that when we go into production engineering, hindi tayo, we are talking of the same page. Ito, tinitreat ko yung dry gas o wet gas, no? Kaysa sa along the way, we have to pause and then aaralin Sorry, nawala na naman ako. Sorry. It's our internet here sa faculty room has been going on and off. So, yeah. Yung sabi ko na kailangang aralin is wala naman siyang bearing as to the assessment and all that. It's just for you to be para ma-review nyo ulit. And then, so that when we discuss further topics, we are on the same page. Hindi ko na kailangang ulit-ulitin pa yung mga basics. So, that's why, bago ako nire-recall lang natin muna. And then we can study them kung medyo may kailangan pang alamin. And then hopefully, we can understand better yung mga newer concepts, lalo na pagdating sa production engineering. Okay? Kasi mas nakakalito if I am going to introduce and then hindi natin inaral pa yung mga basics natin. Correct?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, ayun, nabanggit ko yung mga petroleum products, maraming petroleum products, and siguro ang gagawin ko na lang is iaayon ko kung ano yung medyo in ngayon. For example, yung mga liquefied natural gas. Yan yung mga in ngayon. So, it is better to concentrate on those. Kasi, once you graduate kasi, if there will be more opportunities for you to go into this kind of industry, so mas maganda, mas handa kayo. Kasi, if we study the other topics, tapos hindi naman kayo wala namang mga opportunities doon. So, hindi naman sayang, kundi medyo hindi natin na-focus yung mga pinag-aralan natin para ang purpose naman yun is ma-prepare kayo when you graduate. So, ayun. So, aside from this, we will have to study yung mga off-site facilities like yung mga layout ng mga petroleum tsaka petrochemical plants tsaka as well as yung mga processing units. Nabanggit ko na dito like yung mga gas and oil separator, and aside from this, marami kasi tayong mga units that are usually built to transform a certain component into a semi or finished product. Kaya madami yun. So, and while studying those, we need some concepts pa ulit o bakit natin ginagawa yung mga ganon. So, madami tayong kailangang aralin. Be familiar din sa mga volumes. Yung volume na sinasabi ko is when we go through yung mga halimbawa pressure relations sa temperature, it usually deals with a certain volume. So it is better for you to get familiarized with the volume, circumference, with depende kung may piping kayo dyan. Be familiar with yung mga pressure vessels na tinatawag, because those are those will be taken up when we move on to sa mga planta. So ayun. And then as well as marami din tayong a bit of chemistry in the sense that since we are dealing with products, we may have to review a bit of our chemistry so that we familiarize ourselves with mga components, lalo na propane, yung mga octane, yung mga ganon. So that we will fully understand din para medyo ma-maximize natin yung understanding natin dito sa subject na to. As well as yung mga how do we transport yung mga LNG, lalo na. And then, siyempre lahat naman ng planta, we will need water. So, ano ba yung ginagamit na water? So, we may need to understand a bit of water treatment, which are usually included sa mga production design, as well as yung mga how do we treat yung mga gas, yung gas treatment natin. And then aside from that, incendiary sa mga production facility, yung mga power. Kasi hindi naman tatakbo yung planta if we do not have the power. So initially, you will have some power, and then baka eventually, like for an LNG, meron ka ng succeeding na ma-produce, pwede mo nang gamitin yon as power, as source of power. Pero yung initial point mo, kailangan meron kang power. Kasi paano mo mapapatakbo yung iyong mga equipment. Okay? And also, the idea yung mga cooling tower. Ang cooling tower kasi, they are meant to, kasi gumagamit ka sa planta ng mga tubig. And then, sometimes you need to condense, tapos, and you will need a certain temperature. So, tapos pagka na itaas mo ito, sometimes you need a partial vaporization ng water in a tower para meron kang cooling tower para mai-distribute mo yun sa iba't ibang component na planta. And not only that, kailangan mo rin ng mga water conditioning plant. So when we say water conditioning plant, kasi for example, doon sa mga parte ng mga Middle East, ang water is very hard. So you'll need to treat the water so that you can use them doon sa planta. Kasi syempre if the water is hard, that means marami siyang calcium carbonate na nagpe-precipitate, and these are considered salts. So baka maka-apekto yun sa ating processes. So sometimes you need to include yung mga demineralized water doon sa boiler, otherwise you have to use pure water without causing the salts. So there are quite a number of issues, lalo na sa mga planta. That's why ang mga nagtatrabaho sa planta, 24 hours talagang hindi nila yan tinutulugan, or hindi sila pwede magpa-easy during their shift. So what I'm trying to do is I just want to give you a picture as of now how it feels pag nandun kayo sa planta. I could imagine na siyempre medyo tense yung mga nag-work doon. Ngayon pa lang parang isipin pa lang natin yung kailangan parang medyo na, diba? May natin kailangan hindi naman tayo mag-go into the specifics. Ang important is we will have a more than general view, then we able to relate ibang concepts, the production process, para maintindihan natin as a whole, and then we'll be able to integrate it. And then yung mga specific na masyado ng detail, we don't have time to. So, ayun. And then how do we treat yung mga gas? Ano ba yung mga ginagamit nating mga treatment for the gas? No, iba't iba kasing gas, iba't ibang kailangan ng treatment, 'di ba? As I've said, yung impurities kasi hindi pare-parehas eh. Oh, and then in preparation for transport, siyempre kailangan din natin alamin how do we transport yung mga LNG o gas, for example. Siyempre, kino-convert natin to LNG, katulad ng LPG. So, those are still part ng production eng. Medyo malawak din yung coverage ng production eng in the sense na it does not only involve yung downstream, but halos papunta pa dun sa midstream because you are dealing with loading ng mga material sa isang container and then make sure that they are transported safely dun sa mga terminal mo. So, it's quite a huge industry. Lately nga, may mga katulad nyo na mga pag-graduate na, sir, parang gusto ko sa production. Parang ayoko na dun sa drilling kasi sa production, tuloy-tuloy yung work. Hindi katulad sa drilling, pagkatapos ng drilling, halos wala na sila. Tapos sa production, as long as merong planta, merong pang reservoir, tuloy-tuloy yung trabaho. Which is true naman, di ba? Tama naman siya. I've been talking with some of them na nakapasok sa production. You will hear some of them na later on magpo-post yun pagka nakasampa na siya sa offshore. And she's a girl. She's one of the batches ahead of you. So, kaya okay, so ngayon pa lang, I think it would be best for you to reviewin natin yung mga dapat or mga essential na aside from those na na-mention ko, I think will be useful in the study of production processes or production engineering. Okay? Okay, we still have a lot of time. But I think may mga gutom na ba sa inyo? Or ginutom na because of the things that I have mentioned? Hindi naman sana. Gutom na?
Yes, Robert.
Uy, pwede na kayo na sa hospital ha, kayo po po. Ano nga sukay?
By the way, before i-dismiss ko kayo, there is also, di ba nabanggit ko that there is a difference din yung mga onshore production facility, especially pagdating sa iba rin kasi yung requirement ng mga nasa onshore kaysa sa offshore. So the design of the production facility is quite different, lalo na kung mga land lang sila. as opposed to offshore. Pag offshore kasi, you may be talking of subsea. Ibig sabihin ng mga subsea na na production systems, yun yung mga hydraulic na merong submarine mga nasa cable underneath the sea. So, iba yung treatment ng offshore production kaysa sa mga onshore. As well as yung mga structures din na ginagamit natin is medyo magkakaiba din. Siyempre, because depende kung saan yung offshore, whether it is deep water or ano man. So, mag-iiba din yung ating mga structures and ating kung platform siya or offshore platforms. So, there is so-called na mga subsea and in the subsea marami siya. Naka-tied back lang siya sa isang another platform. So, iba't iba yung setup. Depende sa client, depende sa company, depende sa mismong process, depende sa I've seen a lot of platform na magkakaiba siya. Yung iba, totally independent of each other. Yung iba naman naka-link to each other. Lalo na yung mga wells, nakalagay lang as A, B, C, D, E. So, iba-iba yung kanilang mga facility or yung pinapagawa. So, iba rin pagka yung mga gas, depende sa reservoir nila. Pagka gas lang yung mga nila. Pag oil, separate naman na. Ganun ngayon ang trend. They try to separate yung mga gas and oil. And then, para economics in scale din, so that hindi magmi-mix kung mga gas or oil. So, alam naman nila kasi yung reservoir nila eh. So, if they are particularly interested doon sa isang oil, they would just put in the oil facilities. And then yung gas, doon naman sa gas field nila. Like, what I'm saying is yung mga countries na maraming resources from oil to gas. Tayo, in the case of Malampaya, we are just tapping the gas. So, hindi pa tayo nag-tap ng oil from the Malampaya field. So, gas field tayo. Ganon din yung mga iba naman na Nido, yung mga iba, they are only tapping the oil. Kasi wala namang gas. So, depende yon sa reservoir, depende sa kanilang produkto. Or sometimes, yung preference nila, nung nahanap nila kasi yung Malampaya, it is already proven that it has a certain gas reserve. So, yun ang inuna nila. Kasi yun, sureable na eh. Rather than mag-explore pa sila ng oil and then try to find the oil, and it would be increasing yung cost if they put up a facility separate from the gas plant and then separate for the oil. Kaya they might as well maximize yung gas muna and then they will find out or they will try to explore baka later on pa yung oil kung sakaling they find it viable. Nakuha nyo yung rationale ng mga companies. So, it's a business decision din kasi it's not just technical but the business decision of going through with either gas or oil. What else? I think yun lang muna, and then I hope we can really maximize yung mga iba once na catch up kayo sa inyong mga review. And then hopefully we can medyo bibilisan natin yung pacing. Okay? So dito lang muna tayo. We will stop from here. This is the overview. This is the first week of our discussion. Just an overview ng mga production engineering and the facilities covered. Makukuha din natin yon as we move along doon sa mga topics because syempre, we will need detailed more on sa mga equations, mga gagamitan ng mga data, etc. Okay? So, if there are no more questions, I'll leave this for now and then I'll see you next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you po, sir.